Are robots ruining your draft experience? Greetings, hatchlings! We are here to talk about the evil robot takeover. Oh, scary! Not really. We are here to talk about bot drafting. Now, do you know what that is? If you've ever done a draft on Arena, then you've been involved in one whether you know it or not. So let's dive in. This is another chunk that we're going to be taking from the article that I talked about before, where it's called the "and" article, which the name is leaves a little bit to be desired. Oh, hold on. Let's creep a little bit forward because my editor's going to complain about how I'm not enough in the shot. There we go. There we go. And you better leave it. When you edit this, you better leave it so they can see me moving up. Don't you dare zoom in and make me look like a weirdo, all right? Don't you do it. Don't you do it. All right, so first of all, if you don't know what drafting is, it's a real simple concept. You get three crinkly, oh, listen to that sound. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? 3 crinkly dinkly packs of Magic the Gathering. There you go. You didn't see it on screen, so you don't know I was drinking some water. Professional. All right. So you get. Oh no! Hold on. That was just meditation. That's how I bring my focus back. So you get 3 crinkly dinkly booster packs. Oh no, I said dinkly. Are they going to demonetize me? Dinkly crinkly. You get 3 booster packs. They don't crinkle on Arena. Not like in real life. Oh, yay. I should just do crinkle ASMR. Crinkle cut potato chips. Anyhow, can I just get to the point? I don't think so. You get 3 booster packs. You open one of the packs. You get to pick one card and you hand it off to the person sitting beside you. And then bloop, oop, magically more cards get handed to you by somebody on your other side. And you pick them. Woo-hoo-hoo. And then at the end you build a deck. But when it comes to doing it online, it works differently, right? Because how are you going to get 8 people together? On MTG, it works differently where they have it wait until you got enough people in there and it fires. But in Arena, it doesn't work that way. As soon as you click on you want to draft, poof, you're in a draft. How does that work? Well, basically, they just shove in a bunch of bots. They try and pretend like if there's anybody else available that they'll also include those people. But come on, there's no time limit. There's never any sort of, all right, like I can literally be mid-drafting a pack and I could leave. I could shut off Arena and come back an hour later and that pack will still be waiting. So if we're honest, whenever you're drafting with 7 bots. You're not drafting with people. So there's a little bit of information in the article I didn't know about when it came to the way that they've programmed this. So let's take a look at what they've said here and we'll talk about this bot drafting and what I think about it. When Kaladesh released, we also launched the MTG Arena internal alpha. And all that was really available was best of 1 Kaladesh draft, where you could draft with up to 8 real people. If 8 real people weren't available to draft, which was pretty much all the time, then the remaining seats will be filled with some very primitive bots. Aside from filling seats, we learned there's a lot to be gained from having bot drafts. We liked that it allowed new players to learn how to draft without any time pressure. That's actually a very nice thing. To be able to sit there and look over every single card and decide what it is that you want to pick, it's a real luxury. If you've played in physical drafts, you know what it's like to have people just tapping on the table, just waiting, while one person who's the bottleneck, who has like 7 packs just sitting there waiting for them to go through. It's like, hurry up and pick your card. You're gonna lose anyways, so just pick the cards you're gonna lose with so the rest of us can get around to beating you down. So it's nice for beginners to have the time to take a look at the cards, and even us more experienced players, if you want to take time and appreciate the art and look at new cards. I, for example, when this set was released, I used my pre-release draft code to go ahead and take a look at all the cards I hadn't seen. I sat there and actually looked at the artwork, read through every single card I hadn't seen. So the actual drafting part took me well over half an hour because I was appreciating all the individual cards. And it's nice to have that luxury. So I'm totally on board with that part of it. I enjoy that. On top of that, you can visit tier lists, research cards, and generally take your time. So if you have to leave mid-draft, not a problem at all. And I found that convenient if I actually wanted to go and check, hey, wait a minute, Do I have 4 copies of this yet? Do I want to draft this for my deck, even though it's not my colors? Do I want to draft it for my regular deck? That's the kind of stuff I do. So it also helped experienced players with busy lives. What we've ended up with is a format that also proved fun for regular players and particularly streamers. I know chat drafting is one of my favorite ways to draft. Frankly, I've never actually heard the term chat drafting. This is why we've put extra effort into adding bot personalities and continuing to refine the format. I don't know what chat drafting is supposed to be. Maybe that concept is supposed to be by the draft choices that the people at the table make, it's transmitting information to you. I don't know. But anyways, to get back to it, this is why we put extra effort into adding bot personalities and continuing to refine the format. It will never replace the unique experience of an 8-person pod, but we believe it definitely stands on its own. And this is true. It's not the same experience as drafting with 8 people. When you're sitting around a table, you get to chat with them and slam the cards around, make all your picks. It's definitely not the same because I've done a fair bit of regular drafting and a fair bit of arena drafting. This has been a fun problem to dig into. How do you make a table full of AI opponents provide a good experience, but one with enough variability that it doesn't become predictable? See, this is important. If the bots always operate the exact same way, you're going to be able to start to develop their rhythms and take advantage of that if you do a lot of these drafts. We're tackling it in a bunch of ways. Personalities for the bots, more accurate pick orders using external data, and some good old intuition. Personalities for the bots is a really interesting one. I had never considered, like I thought maybe they would go ahead and take a look at using the external data, obviously, to figure out, okay, when people draft, what do they pick? If you pick X, you also pick Y and Z. You know what I mean? Like if you pick this powerful red card, you also pick these 2 red cards because they have excellent synergy with that card. Now that seems really obvious. Go ahead and program your bots to be smart enough to know these cards combo awesomely together. But to give them personalities is another level. And what that transmits to me is, like, for example, I'm a guy who loves a big green tower deck and big creature smash. People have different play styles that they prefer. Some people enjoy really aggressive burn style decks. Some people enjoy slow rolling control decks. So giving your bots personality where they will draft based on as if they actually had a preference outside of just sheer power adds a complete another dimension to it. And it actually kind of helps to mimic a real draft in some ways a little more. So I really enjoy that part. So it goes on to say that at the end of the day, the experience of drafting at your own pace up to and across multiple login sessions makes all this work worth it. I've been having a blast with it, both the internal work and the end product. Really, you've been having a blast with the internal work. Come on. All right, well, let's just move on. Which isn't to say it's perfect. And we keep iterating on it with the MTG Arena folks every chance we get. So for me, bot drafts are fantastic. I really like the convenience of it. The fact that you can do a draft any time of the day, anytime you want, just boom, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to draft. Anybody else can start doing their draft an hour later. You could both log off and the next day you could both get matched up against each other when you log in. Complete it at your own pace. It's got a more casual aspect to it in terms of just go at your own pace. You don't have to worry as much about making mistakes based on being hurried in any way. And I also like the fact that when you're playing in the draft, you can change your deck between each game and you have all the time in the world for it. I have become a really big fan of this best of one style thing. When it comes to traditional Magic now, and it comes to the two out of 3 game drafts and things like that, I avoid them. That's actually why I haven't been engaging in Ravnica Allegiance drafts, because I no longer care for 2 out of 3 matching. Best of one totally suits what I do far, far better. So for me, bot drafting is an absolute win. On top of that, it never seems like any of the bot drafters have the rare drafter personality, and considering that I'm a rare drafter, to maximize my drafts, if you haven't figured it out, a great way to build up gems and expand the rares in your collection is to save up your gold and get into a draft where you spend 5,000 gold to get into the draft. I did a video explaining this on my channel already, so you may want to check that out if you want to know the more particulars of it. But it's like the last draft I did, I managed to crack 2 mythic planeswalkers, and one of them was just handed to me. In fact,